Hello there, Rebel Rooster Modeling viewers. It's good old Terry, and I just finished up this little Tamiya 1/72 scale Fw190. We'll take a look at that in a second. I've got another one in the bullpen, and I've also got these 5 additional 1/72 scale kits to finish. And let me tell you what, guys, me no likey. I don't like 1/72 scale kits. I thought they would be a quick, easy, you know, wham bam, thank you man kind of build, but man, everything takes longer when you're doing it in micro. It takes longer to do everything because it's smaller, and you got to be more delicate with your hands and better with your eyes. And me no likey. I'm gonna finish these up, and then so help me, I swear on a stack of Bibles this high, I'm never going to do any more 1/72 scale kits. But hey, let's take a look at this little thing here, and then we'll get started on the P47. Okay, so here it is. Now, I've never built the Tamiya 130, or I'm sorry, the 1/48 scale Fw, so I really don't know how it compares to that one. I'll talk a little bit more about the P47. I'm about to start a little bit because I have built their P47 and 48th, but let's take a look at this one here. And my apologies in advance for the seasickness you're bound to get from me handling the camera here. But here it is right now. It's done. What I'm really happy about was it went together really nicely, even though it was small. But I want to dispel that myth again about Tamiya decals sucking. Those of you familiar with the BF109, you know this is a well recessed exhaust area, and this is a decal on there, and it went right down. I put some Tamiya Mark Fit Strong on the model, and then I put the decal on, and then I just got a Q-tip and I rolled it back and forth. Didn't scrub it, I rolled it, and that allowed it to push all the excess fluid out and soak into the cotton here. And then once that was good and flat, I let it sit for about a minute, and I put some Solvacet on top of that. Let that sit about 10 seconds, and then got another Q-tip and did the same thing. I rolled it and rolled it, and then and this is probably this is where you can get yourself into trouble, but I'm kind of stupid and I don't always, you know, take my own advice, which is to not touch it while it's wrinkled. But I got the tip of the Q-tip damp, not wet, but damp, and then just kind of pushed those wrinkles, and they reappeared, but then I let them be. And then I did the same thing with all the decals. And I mean, you can see, I hope I can get this in there, but you can see where the panel lines recessed beautifully into it. Everything you see right there, you can see it on the insignia if I can get the right camera angle. I gotta dust this with some pastel or something to get that shine off of there, but you can see where all the panel lines recessed into the decal nicely. You can especially see that on the bottom if I back up a little more. And it doesn't want to focus, but anyway, it went on nicely. And this is all one big decal, this number, this insignia, and the thing behind it, but you don't see a trace of the outline of it anywhere. And that's because I tried something a little different here besides the method of application and all. But I tried this clear coat semi-matte. Let me try this without my ridiculously bright lights here. Maybe you can see the label a little better there. Clear coat semi-matte, ALC 312 by Alclad. Now it says it's got mineral spirits in there on the bottle right here. So I took the lid off and I smelt it, and yeah, it smells like an enamel, but it also says it had alcohol solvents, and I know alcohol solvents tend to work well with Mr. Leveling Thinner. So I got Mr. Leveling Thinner, and I sprayed the model with that, I wouldn't say heavily, but thoroughly, and it covered everything up just beautifully. I didn't have to do any sanding to even them out. They just came out really, really nicely. So you may or may not want to give that a try. And then I usually flat coat the model afterwards, but I kind of like the finish on this. And I don't know how much of the mottling you're going to be able to see with the lighting and all here, but the fuselage mottling and everything. And what I used is I made my own custom mixtures of Tamiya acrylics, and then I did the base work. You know, the light blue on the bottom, and the grau violet on the top. This and the, you know, with my trusty old HPCS, my Iwata HPCS. And then for the mottling and the, this is another custom mix. It's basically, it's, I think this is gray green. I'd have to look again, but it's basically, it's a green gray mix. And this is kind of like a violet and gray mix. But anyway, I did this color and the mottling with this HPB Plus by Iwata. I think that's an 02 needle on there. But it shot them very nicely. I cut those again with Mr. Leveling Thinner, and I did about 65%-ish thinner to 35-ish % paint. Shot that at about 12 psi. And I did it all freehand. I took the very tip of the cap off here, so I can get up nice and close when I painted it. But you got to watch out with that needle tip, because you'd be surprised. It's like a magnet for disaster. And it turned out nicely. It was all done freehand. I didn't do any masking on it except for the canopy, of course. It's got a fairly decent, you're not gonna be able to see it too well because it's so damn small and it's dim over here, but it's got a fairly decent detailed cockpit in there. It's got a decent panel. It's got a nice set of decals for the instruments, and gives you little decal seat belts, which you can probably see from here. And it's not bad. I just don't like doing 1/72 scale stuff. It's just so darn small. It takes me so much longer to do everything because it's done in micro. So everything from cutting the tape to, you know, to getting the wells done, everything just takes so much longer because you have to be so careful with it and so delicate with it. So anyway, let me get the Thunderbolt out and we'll take a look at that. Okay, so here's their little P47. It's also in baby scale. Now I've built the 48th scale Tamiya Thunderbolt, and this is very similar, very, very similar to it. I'm not going to waste your time with a sprue review. First of all, it's a baloney definition. It's not a review because you're not anything. It's a first look. But, you know, I'm not going to start riding that horse because I'll never shut up. But anyway, if I can get the staple, okay, you can see by the, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here. There you go. You can see the sidewalls are very nicely detailed. I mean, look, they're smaller than hell though, but very similar to the 48th scale sprues. Same with the rocket tubes, tank holder, all that stuff. Very similar. You see the cowling is in the same place. Now let me zoom out a little bit. Things are very similar engine construction, and also the same with the fuselage. Very strikingly similar to the 48th scale. It has pretty nice little decent decals, so you can make the instrument panel look nice. Speaking of which, where the heck is it? There it is. Okay, so you can see it's nicely detailed. It's got the bezels and everything sticking out. So when you put the decal on there and hunker it down, it's really going to look nice. It just sucks that you have to do it in such a small scale. I mean, I know some of you guys enjoy that, and I'm glad, you know, somebody has to like liver and onions out there, but it ain't me. I'm really much more of a fan of 48th scale stuff because you can go as far or as short as you like and it's still going to look good. But it just takes, I'm someone who enjoys weathering my models, but I'm not even going to bother doing even any panel line washes or weathering of any sort with this thing, because it's just going to be so much harder with it being small. I'm not there yet, and I don't care to ever get there actually with 1/72 scale, but they do make a pretty nice little plane out of their small stuff. So let me change the camera angle and we'll wrap it up. All right, so here's the stack of despair. I got these because the price was right, but now I have to build the darn things. And like I said, I really don't like 1/72 scale things. So I'll get through them. I'll probably not do much weathering and such with the P47. I look better without my glasses on because I can't see myself. Now I'm happy. Anyway, but once the P47 is done, I'm probably going to weather the rest somewhat. I usually sell my stuff on eBay or through private sales, but with these ones I'm not going to bother with it. I'll find some neighborhood kids who like them and give them to them or something, or maybe give them to a friend, I don't know. But the task is yours. If you want to build something short, sweet, easy, and quick, and you can see, and you don't have caffeine hands, go for them. To me, it makes nice little 1/72 scale kits. It's just not my cup of tea, as they say. But I really do think you're going to have a good time with them. So feel free to give them a try. And I'll see you again when I start the P47.